Yo, fellas, if y'all want to see me wife a girl that looks like this, or even this, tap in with my Instagram, man. My goal is 10K followers. If y'all active, I will follow back. Come on, y'all. I know we could do it, but hey, here go the vid.
Hey, welcome to the Love and Basketball series. A lot of you guys requested this, so here it is. I know most of you know already, but my name is Kanani. But most people call me KK if you guys want to call me that instead. I'm not gonna lie. Corey doesn't know this yet, but I'm making him narrate this thing. It's way too much work for me. Plus I have a terrible accent and y'all are gonna be laughing at me trying to talk for 10 minutes. Anyway, I'll go get Corey. See you guys later.
Man, I swear if I didn't want some cheeks tonight, I would not be here right now. It's annoying, man. Alright, let's do it. What's good, ladies and gents? As you can see, I'm being forced to do this. I ain't even feel like it, but I'm trying to drop a triple-double in the bedroom tonight, so without further ado, let's take a look into Kalani's background. So Kalani grew up in a fat house in the suburbs. Now y'all know I come from struggling low-end housing, but Kalani was the complete opposite. Her neighborhood was filled with high-end housing. Man, some of them even looked like small mansions. Her dad was into real estate and her mom was a lawyer, so they definitely had bread. But both of them played collegiate basketball, so that made Kalani want to follow in their footsteps. Even though Kalani had money all her life, she was always humble. Man, that girl worked for everything she got. She was a 5-star recruit in high school and ended up committing to Stanford. She was able to get an NIL deal because of her social media following, and her parents were straight, so she bought herself an $80,000 supercar. She would always make students stop and look because of her car and her looks. But the thing I liked about her the most, she was hard to get. At first, she didn't even want to date anyone and focus on school and basketball. But we ended up meeting while I was shooting around in the gym. And from the moment I met her, I just had a gut feeling we could be something. I started off being cool with her, but man, we really hit it off. Next thing you know, we was hanging out almost every day. And she was always supporting me and watching all of my away games when we were traveling. She also texted me after every game just to make sure I was good. It's crazy to think she was a junior and I was a freshman. Hey, I guess my motion was elite. We was basically locked in until I committed to the draft my sophomore year. But don't get it twisted. I was hooping, but she was going crazy too. It was a lot of hype surrounding her name coming into our senior season. And man, I could see why. Her work ethic was crazy. One day I went with her just to watch, and she shot over 1,000 shots. And not only that, she made 60% of them. And she was shooting from NBA range. I'm not gonna lie, between me and y'all, she might be a better shooter than Lonnie. Y'all gonna see why in a minute. But eventually me and Kalani made it official. We would always work out together and study together. But when that was over, we would always go back to the crib and chill. And man, y'all know what that lead to. Well, we ain't gotta get into that. I'll be honest, Kalani was basically my twin. If you look at me and her on the court, it was almost identical. We were both top players in the nation and had similar stats. Now y'all already know my story and how I made it to the league, but this ain't about me. It's time to see how Kalani became one of the best to ever do it. So the first game of Kalani's senior season would be up against the University of Texas. And I specifically remember this game. She texted me before, and she was hella nervous. She wanted to make a statement because all of the hype surrounding her name from her play last season. Man, I tried to tell that girl not to pay attention to the blogs and just focus on hooping. But she never listened to me. That girl read everything. Every blog, every tweet, basically everything that got her name in it. Now I told y'all Lonnie could shoot, but she also got some mean handles. Boom! Yeah, it was about to get scary for these girls at Texas. But the crazy thing about Kalani, this girl knows she can score and drop 40 points a game, but she looks to get her teammates involved. I mean, some games she'll even shy away from scoring just to make sure she get enough assists. I don't know, me, I'm the complete opposite. Y'all know I try to go out there and get some buckets. I know y'all probably want me to shut up and stop talking about myself because I literally already got a movie out. But hey, bruh, chill, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's my girl, bruh. But another thing about Kalani, she never get rattled. As you can see, this game was close in the beginning, but she wasn't nervous at all. If it was a tie game, she was gonna try to extend the lead herself. And she was gonna let you know afterwards. Don't let the looks and the cute face fool you. Kalani talk more trash than I do. She probably gonna deny it, but that's definitely a fact. But anyway, this first game of the season was crazy because Texas was not giving up. I mean, this game was back and forth the whole time. It was like watching a boxing match. Punch for punch, blow for blow, and Kalani was scoring at every single level. In the post, mid-range, and from deep. But like I said in the beginning, Kalani was a playmaker first. In this game, she was making things happen with her ball handling ability. I mean, she always been good at using her hands. And as the second quarter came to a close, her team would have a small lead on Texas. But it would not last long as they would cut it down to a 1-point lead. Now me personally, I was watching and I thought it was at this moment that she should have started to take over. But of course, Lonnie being her, she kept finding her open teammates and trying to get them going. But ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, whatever get the dub, get the dub. But on the next possession, she came down on a nice little pick and roll and got a left hand layup. But unfortunately, the defense was not able to stretch out this lead and it was still a close game. But Kalani ended up turning up on the defensive end and got a steal off the inbound and an easy layup. And that's definitely something that separated Kalani from a lot of players. I mean, aside from all of the talent she already had, she loved to play defense. And moving on to the fourth quarter, it was a 1-point lead and Kalani put her cape on. She had to turn into Superwoman. And in this situation, she was not passing the ball. She wanted to make sure they closed this game out. And on the next play, she got a little ISO on a PG, hit a nice spin move, and then hit a crazy step through lay through 2 defenders. I don't know what that celebration was, but I guess she was channeling her inner Michael Jordan. But I ain't gonna lie, that layup was crazy. I mean, watching that live, I couldn't believe it. She really stepped through 2 defenders that were way taller than her and still got the finish. Hey, she was crafty, man. I'm telling y'all, she too talented. And with a little over 40 seconds to go, their star 5, Cameron Brink, ended up closing out the game and slamming the ball on the floor and walking away in the timeout. Hey, that was kind of cold, I ain't gonna lie. But just like that, the Stanford girls would end up getting the dub. And Kalani played a major role in getting his first dub of the season. Now in this game, she ended up dropping 25 points while also grabbing 8 rebounds and 4 assists. And on top of that, she had 3 steals. I ain't gonna lie, that's not bad for your first showing. It's actually pretty great. But next up, Kalani had another tough challenge against some other stars in the women's game. Hailey Van Lith, Flau'jae Johnson, and Angel Reese. She had to go against the undefeated LSU team. Hey, but she had no fear in her. She took it straight to Hailey Van Lith off rip and got a nice little Euro step late. And on the next defensive possession, she ended up getting the steal on Angel Reese and pushing the ball in transition. She was trying to start this game off going crazy, I ain't gonna lie. Now Kalani's name, it wasn't up there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese yet, but if she was able to knock off this team by herself, she would most definitely be able to make a name for herself. But on the next play, she ended up sending Hailey Van Lith to the gulag and got the tough finish that should have been an and one. I'm telling y'all, this girl tough, man. But trust me, y'all gonna find out sooner or later. But on the next possession, they was pushing it in transition, and Hailey Van Lith needed some help. Boom! And Kalani ended up knocking down another tray ball. I mean, I already knew she was good at knocking shit down, but she was going crazy. Now I'm guessing she figured that Hailey couldn't guard her, and she ended up going at her again. Boom! Hit another step back 3 in her grill. It was getting ugly fast. But this LSU team was undefeated. And they was national champs, so you already knew they was gonna fight back. And with a couple seconds left to go, Kalani ended up kicking it to the corner, and her teammate hit the buzzer beater corner 3. But as the second quarter went on, LSU was able to get the lead back to a 2-point lead. And now, Kalani and the girls had to do some work. But she was looking to attack the basket and facilitate like she normally do. And then it was a tie game again. I ain't gonna lie, watching this game at the crib was crazy. I mean, it was too much stuff going on. And with a couple seconds left to go in the second, the same girl hit a buzzer beater again. 2 buzzer beaters in 2 quarters is absolutely crazy. Next thing you know, it was another lead change, and Lonnie and them was up by 2. And on the next possession, she attacked the basket and found a wide open teammate for an easy mid-range jump shot. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Kanani was going crazy with the celebrations. But all they had to do was keep stringing stops together and keep putting points on the board. And man, they could make this thing happen, as she got an easy bucket while running in transition. At this point in the game, Stanford was up by 3. And Kalani figured it was time to attack some more. Called for the nice little pick and roll action and ended up getting another Euro step lay right over Angel Reese. Crazy. We all know she was known for blocking shots, but hey, Kalani said, not today. Called for another pick and roll, easy pump fake got the defense jumping, and then she got a nice dish to Cameron Brink. And just like that, Kalani and them will get the dub. Now the next game on the schedule will be a Pac-12 matchup against rival UCLA. And coming out the gate, Lonnie was attacking early. Got a nice little step back mid-range on a PG. And I'm not gonna fake it. She told me in that LSU game she performed well, but she thought she could do way better. So coming into this UCLA game, she was looking to take over, as she ended up getting a crazy acrobatic lay right over the defender. And on the next possession, she ended up missing a 3, pump faked and hit a crazy step back, and then boom! She ended up getting it to drop. That step back was elite level. That was crazy. And as the first quarter went on, man, she kept attacking. But this time, it was in the post. I ain't gonna lie, that UCLA point guard was way too small for her. As she got the easy turnaround layup, it was getting scary. Now, normally, Kalani always got the ball in her hands. But the coach started to draw up some plays where she could come off a back screen and get an easy lay. And that's definitely something the defense wasn't expecting. That coach had to call a timeout and talk about some stuff after that. And toward the end of the second quarter, they still had the lead, but UCLA was definitely trying to fight back. And she drove to the paint and ended up finding somebody else. Boom! For another corner 3. I'm not gonna lie though, Kalani was definitely being a pest from the West this game. I mean, she was pressing them 94 feet. And ultimately, she ended up drawing an 8-second violation on the team a few times. I know they was frustrated. In the second half of the game, she was looking to push the tempo in transition. And that's exactly what she did. Crossed up their point guard and got an easy finish at the cup. Straight to the high. But anyway, Kalani was starting to make a name for herself over these past 3 games. I mean, she took down Texas, took down LSU, who was undefeated, and now she was giving UCLA the business. I mean, she was going to have some work to do if she wanted to get her name up there with people like Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and Kayell. But after these first 3 showings, she definitely has the talent and the ability to do so. Now, one of the girls on UCLA hit a 3 and taunted, and afterwards, Kalani wasn't standing for that. Boom! Yeah, she got it back in blood, I ain't gonna lie. And just like I always forget to do when me and Kalani Netflix and chilling, man, it's time to wrap this thing up. And she got a layup over the defender, and just like that, Stanford was gonna get the conference dub over UCLA. Now, it wasn't a blowout win, but they was definitely in control the whole game. And you could tell by the way Kalani was dominating. Now, in this game, Kalani had dropped 25, 7, and 5. She went crazy. But hey, this was only the beginning of how she began to take over the women's game. As the season went on, the Stanford's women's team kept getting better and better. Everything was clicking. Kalani was playing at an elite level, and her teammates was falling right in place. Hey, they was looking pretty dominant, I ain't gonna lie to you. And next up, they had the toughest test of them all. They had a matchup against the undefeated national championship team, South Carolina, with their 6'7" center, Cardozo. So coming into this game, Kalani was definitely nervous. She was texting me all night the night before. And I mean, why wouldn't you be? This is South Carolina. Probably, not even probably, it's the best team in women's basketball and they undefeated. But hey, Kalani was coming to show them, I don't care if y'all undefeated, I'm the best player in women's basketball. Boom! And she came out the gate early, guns blazing, hitting a tray ball. Now, South Carolina was missing a few different key pieces this game, but they still had their star center Cardozo, and she was looking to get on the board early too. But hey, it was a tie game, ain't no runaway leads yet. And on the next offensive possession, they ended up missing a shot, but Cameron Brent got the board and put 2 points up. And they was looking good in the beginning of this game, man. Next possession, Kalani got an easy steal. She was pushing in transition, and you know she liked to find her teammates as she made a crazy pass to the power forward for an easy bucket. I'm not gonna lie, we could talk about Kalani's scoring ability all day, but hey, that girl could pass. I don't even know how she was able to get that pass through there. It was something crazy. I'm not gonna lie, she was definitely capable of dropping a double-double every night. I mean, hey, you know she got them double Ds. But anyway, next defensive possession, hey, Cardozo got right back on the board. Y'all gotta remember, this is a national championship team. They is not gonna lay down that easy. Hey, Kalani don't either. Normally we gotta Netflix and chill first. But she was driving to the cup and got the nice dish to the center. And now they was up by 4. In this game, she was also doing a great job of showcasing that she could score on all 3 levels. I mean, you had tray balls, mid-ranges, and post-up work as well. I mean, she could do it all. And I literally mean do it all. Hey, man, did y'all know Kalani was a thief? She hit old girl with the up, you dropped something, and then she ended up pulling the transition 3. It was finna be good night Irene in a minute. So toward the end of the first quarter, Stanford had a 9-point lead on South Carolina, and Kalani was not looking to let up as she got the bucket with 6 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Now, one thing this Stanford team is good at doing is defending and jumping out to an early lead because of turnovers. And I ain't gonna lie, they ain't think it was gonna be possible against a team like this, but the way it's going in this first quarter, it might get ugly quick. I was at home watching hype though. They could really pull this off. But hey, Cardozo said, hey, I don't know about all that. And she was looking to get the ball in the post on their next possession. And I ain't gonna lie, she was going to work. And don't nobody really stop her, so hey, if they let her get going, it was gonna be a long night. And I think in that moment, Kalani said, okay, they starting to go to work, so I need to go to work. Hey, she had no fear and got to lay over 2 people. I'm telling y'all, man, she tough. And I'm not gonna lie, the Stanford defense was forcing South Carolina into some bad shots, but hey, Cardozo would just come in, straight cleanup crew on aisle 7. Hey, remember I told y'all Kalani was like my twin on the court? I'm telling you, she got the board, and then she was pushing in transition, got the easy lay. Looking like my Stanford days. But it ain't stopped there. On the very next possession, she ended up getting the ball again in transition, pushing it. They just couldn't stop her. She was way too fast and got another easy layup. And just like that, hey, this lead was starting to get dangerous. Now, Kalani be playing that Call of Duty Mobile a lot, so you know she got that chopper gunner in her. Boom! Hit another tray ball. This whole game, Kalani was showing no fear and put the team on her back. And hey, if she wanted her name up there with people like Paige Beckers and Kayell Clark, hey, she was going to have to do that on a consistent level though. But hey, consistent or not, if you giving South Carolina buckets, I mean, that should say enough right there. Not many people doing that. Like I told y'all, national champion and undefeated, hey, that's tough. As she pulls up with the witty mini bucket. And hey, on that next possession, I don't know what the coach was on. Y'all gotta remember Kalani a shooter. Plus the 4th of July coming up. Boom! Yeah, it was a whole lot of bombs going off. Now I know y'all just as shocked as I was watching this, cause they was finna be up 30 and Kalani ain't let up. Boom! Hey, she told Cardozo, you better treat this like a staircase and step up, as she pushed the ball in transition and then got another easy layup. That was a crazy little Euro for her. The crowd was going nuts, and hey man, Kalani was looking unstoppable this game. She did this against the best team in women's basketball. If Stanford kept this up, hey, they was gonna be in that Elite 8, Final 4, and maybe even a Natty. And just like that, they had did the unthinkable. They had dropped off the undefeated South Carolina, the national champions. Now the whole team played extremely great, but as for Kalani, man, she almost gave them 40. She was 1 point away from it, and she shot efficient. But now, it was time for the marquee matchup. Kalani would be matching up against the one and only Paige Beckers, and I'm not gonna lie, A lot of people consider her to be the best player in the world, including her coach. Now, if you don't know who Paige Beckers is, you must be sleeping under a rock. I believe she is arguably the best player in women's basketball. Hey, she was tough. So coming into this game, Kanani had to be on point. Paige wasn't coming to play with nobody. Now they got the dub over South Carolina, but that doesn't mean this game was going to be that easy. I mean, hey, UConn got a Hall of Fame coach, and they got Paige. Arguably the best player in all of women's basketball today. The girl who went toe-to-toe with Kayell Clark, and who may be the all-around better player. But hey, Kalani was starting off early, getting her team involved. And if she wanted to make it to the top, she had to go through matchups like this. I ain't gonna lie, I was at the crib hype. Hey, but y'all don't want to know what I did to UConn. Maybe I'll tell y'all about that later. But anyway, I feel like both of them canceled each other out. I mean, they both could do it all. But of course I'm gonna edge Kalani because that's my girl, you feel me? But she can rebound, so can Paige. She can pass, so can Paige. She can get to the cup and score at will from all three levels. Hey, Paige can do that too. So this game, she needed to show her that it was levels. And early on, she looked to do just that, getting that crazy Euro finish. On the next play, Kalani was just like Wiz Khalifa, cause she wanted nothing but smoke. Went straight at Paige and hit a tough move to get the layup finish right over her. But I know y'all ain't think Paige was just finna sit here and do nothing. Man, she called ISO right back, got a screen, and hit that patented mid-range she known for. Hey, this was looking like it was finna be a game. Right after that, hey, KK got caught slipping on defense, and Paige hit a three. She was starting to heat up. Hey, I don't know what she thought this was, but hey, you gotta guard at all times. That's Paige Beckers. It do make sense she was falling asleep on defense though. I mean, that's what she always do. Maybe that's because of the work I put in. But when she on offense, hey, you better not fall asleep. Yeah, I know she a shooter, man. Hey, and I know it's my cousin, but hey, she might be a better shooter than Lonnie. I'm trying to tell y'all, KK got it, but so do Paige. Like I said, you gotta step up. As the game went on, this was living up to everything it was supposed to. Both of these girls were showcasing their skills at the highest level. Both of them were putting up buckets, and both of them put the team on their back. Now, it just came down to who wanted it more. And Kalani really wanted this ISO on Paige and got a tough finish. I'm not gonna lie, Paige played some excellent defense on that play. Hey, but like I said, it's about who wanted more. Kalani may have got off with a little push off, but hey, the ref ain't see it, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But UConn would end up responding back on their next offensive possession. Got the nice little screen action for a pull-up three, and they was trying to cut this lead down. Hey, the game was still close, I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't like the South Carolina game, but that don't mean Kalani wasn't finna be aggressive. She called for a screen, rejected it, and ended up getting an one bucket right over Paige too. Hey, she came to play. Both girls did. Now y'all know this ain't my series, so I really ain't supposed to be saying it, but y'all know it's 100% from the line every time. And hey, they cut the lead down to 4, but Kalani was looking to get her teammates involved, doing a great job of showcasing her ball control skills before, during, and after the game. As she got another dime. Hey man, she was finding everybody on the floor. She was doing a good job of getting to the cup and just dishing it. And I mean, that's what she had to do. Everybody know you can't beat a team by yourself. I don't care if you drop 60 points. You still got to get your team involved eventually. But like I said, UConn is a historic college, and they got a Hall of Fame coach. So the game was close. And with the 2-point lead, Kalani drove to the cup and got the easy layup to extend it to 4. Right after that, Stanford ended up getting a stop. Kalani was pushing it in transition. And oh my God, she made that girl do a 360. That move was crazy. Hit a nice little stutter step. And man, she had her playing Twister. I don't know what she was looking at in the crowd, but hey, whatever that dance move is, it's finna be trending on TikTok after this. I knew at that moment they probably want to have Paige follow her all around on defense because, hey, it was getting rough for her teammates. Midway through the third, Stanford had a 6-point lead and Kalani was getting a little gassed. But hey, that don't affect her passing at all. she was still finding her open teammates, making the right plays, and just getting easy buckets to extend the lead. And her teammates came to show up as well, as Cameron Brink hit a mean post move, basically pushing that girl all the way out the way. I didn't even know she could do that. But hey, she said she too little. And then Kalani was pushing the transition, hit him with a step back. Boom! You have to step up. I told you about the staircase, bruh. Stanford was able to increase the lead to 11, and Kalani did not let up. Made another good pass, and her teammate hit the tray ball. They were starting to run away with it. And there was still a lot of time left to go in the game, so UConn still had a chance. But it was up to Kalani and them to finish the job. Keep their foot on their neck. And that's exactly what they did. Hey, her teammates was acting different. You seen how Cameron Brink was running the floor in transition after Kalani had made a great pass? Hey, she took that thing from coast to coast all the way to the cup. Great finish by a great player. And as the game went on, UConn was still fighting. The lead was only 13. But hey, y'all know Kalani wasn't letting that slide as she pulled up and got another tray ball, heavily contested too, man. She is a shooter. I'm just glad I got to witness this firsthand. I mean, I told y'all me and her would work out for hours. We'd be in the gym just working on the little stuff. And honestly, it helped both of us become better players. I mean, she was already cold before she met me, don't get me wrong. But hey, them late night gym sessions, it just helped her get even better. And now she playing at this level. With 3 minutes left to go in the fourth, all Stanford needed was a few more stops and a few more buckets to officially make this thing over with. And that's exactly what they looked to do. They was almost up 20. But as you know, UConn was going to fight until the clock hit 0. Hey, they had a bunch of grit and a bunch of toughness. And Stanford, they got to remember that before they mess around and make a comeback in these last 2 minutes. But hey, they had to draw something up in the timeout, fix some schemes, fix some situations. And Paige said, forget all that, I'm trying to win. Pulled up and hit a tough, contested transition 3. But it wouldn't be enough. And Stanford ended up getting the dub. And I'm not going to lie, that was a classic matchup between two stars, Kalani and Paige. They fist bumped each other after the game for some mutual respect. And man, the stats said it all. Kalani had 34 and 10 while shooting efficiently. And hey, Paige, I ain't gonna lie, she was hooping too. She had 31. So combined, both girls had like 65 points. This matchup definitely lived up to the hype, not gonna lie. So the next game for Stanford would be against North Carolina. They're facing a different Carolina this time, but I don't know what y'all thought. Kalani on the same type of timing. Boom! Coming out, guns blazing, hit a 3 off rip. Now North Carolina's best player was Deja Kelly. Hey, I mean, it wasn't no Caitlin Clark or Paige Beckers, but hey, she could hoop. She was up there with the top names, and she had some popularity too. And Kalani was looking to show out this game. Made crazy passes just like that one to find her open teammate for the corner 3. Shout out Peter Griff. Yeah, I saw she had 10 assists against South Carolina. In this game, she was looking to do the same thing. I mean, this girl was a crazy passer. If you ask me, I don't know if she was a better scorer or facilitator. Y'all let me know in the comments down below, but I can't decide, man. I'm not gonna lie. And I know y'all didn't think it was over with that one. She came down, asked for the screen, got the easy dump off for another layup. She had 3 assists back to back to back. I'm telling y'all, the passing ability is crazy. Call her KK Stockton, or maybe KK Laundromat, as she put the defender in a spin cycle and got the tough finish. Man, I'm telling y'all, she just different. Look at that spin move, man. Hey, I taught her everything she know. But y'all know when I do that, it's followed by a dunk. She ain't got the bounce like that. She do got that recoil bounce though. I ain't gonna fake it. But anyway, with a 10-point lead, they was still attacking. And Kalani was still finding her teammates. She was on fire with the assists, I'm not gonna lie. But this next play was crazy. She got the board, and you already know how we do it over here. We pushing in transition, and she hit a tough acrobatic lay right over the defender. And I was watching live at home, I'm like, I ain't never seen her do nothing like that. That's different. But then again, I had to remember, that girl always got some tricks up her sleeve. She was always doing the unexpected, something crazy. She was almost like a wizard. No pun intended though. With 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter, Kalani was still on fire. She looked to find her teammate, but ended up cutting to get open. Boom! But right after the three, Deja Kelly went down with a shoulder injury. I'm not gonna lie, that was completely unexpected. You never want to see anybody get hurt. Hopefully she can make a speedy recovery and get back to it. But hey, that didn't mean Kalani and them was finna let up. She was like a taxi driver because she had a whole lot of dimes. Hey, it was about to get ugly. Stanford was finna be up almost 20. UNC ended up getting the bucket, but hey, Kalani had to get one right back as she found Cameron Brink for the wide open layup. She was just making it look too easy out there, man. Speaking of easy, she drove and ended up getting an one bucket. I'm telling y'all, she dangerous. 1 minute she passing, and then the next minute she ISOing you and getting straight to the cup. Or she could even ISO you and get a tray ball. I don't know how she ended up hitting that crazy layup. Hey, she just had some strong grip, I guess. But on the next play, she ISO'd, got another tough bucket. A lot of them defenders on UNC, they was just too little for her, I'm not gonna lie. She just put them in the spin cycle. I guess that was becoming her patented move. A little turnaround midi jumper. It was cash almost every time. You gotta guard it. But hey, this game was looking like me when I Netflix and chill with Kalani. It was a whole lot of finishes. Cause on the next possession, she called ISO, went straight to the cup, and got the tough bucket. I'm not gonna lie. I could see from watching at home, she was putting in that work in the gym. Cause that lay package was getting crazy. It was at that moment I knew, hey, she had a chance to go to the draft. And not only go, I think she could be the #1 pick. She had the option to come back for a 5th year and get some more of that NIL money, but I ain't gonna lie. The way she playing right now, I don't see nobody better than her. And just like that, Stanford would get the dub over North Carolina. And Kalani had herself a game, I am not gonna lie. She ended up dropping 31 and 12 with 9 rebounds, almost a triple-double. Pretty soon she was gonna have to see Caitlin Clark. Now all of you know who Caitlin Clark is. The NCAA's all-time leading scorer, straight bucket. Possibly the best shooter the women's game has ever seen. And now, Kalani got a matchup with this juggernaut. Coming into this game, it had the same amount of hype as the UConn game did. We got probably the best scorer ever at the collegiate level versus Kalani Knight, a rising star. Well, I don't know about rising star. I mean, if you ask me, I think she a star already. And I think she the best player in the game right now. But hey, it's just my opinion. I don't know what y'all think. That's what I think. Now, coming into this game, Kalani was telling me she didn't have no nerves at all. She was probably more nervous for the UConn game, but after she already got that under her belt, this was nothing. She was used to big moments now. And she knew she had to take down some of the top stars to become the top star. So hey, let's get it. Now, Caitlin started off hitting a nice jump shot, but now it was Kalani's turn. Boom! Hey man, and I ain't gonna lie, I was watching this game from the crib. Hey, I'ma just tell y'all, it got real wicked. Don't get me wrong, Caitlin was doing her thing, but Kalani definitely came to play. But hey, she gotta play some defense too. You see Caitlin complaining like she usually do. So Kalani said, bump all that. I'm finna come down here and go right back at you. Snatch back. Boom! Hey, let me get 3 of them things, you feel me? I'm telling y'all, it got ugly this game from the 3. I mean, Caitlin got a shot, but so do Kalani. She was mean with it too. After she hit it, she even stared her down. I told y'all this girl be taunting more than me. But hey, y'all ain't want to listen. I'm trying to tell y'all. But anyway, as the game went on, Caitlin Clark was being Caitlin Clark, running around a bunch of screens, handling the ball, and pulling up from 3. But it seemed like every time she got a bucket, Kalani made it her mission to go at her on the next possession. And that's exactly what she did. Now, it didn't matter if she was scoring points or getting the assist. Either way, She was responsible for her team putting points on the board. Midway through the first, they had about a 3-point lead, and Kalani was looking to stretch it out. Reminds me of college. But anyway, she got another easy dime that boosted the lead to 5. But hey, it's still a long game. Iowa called timeout to draw some stuff up, and I ain't gonna lie, Kayell was pulling this whole game. I don't know how many shots she took, but it was a lot. But hey, you know what they say. Shooters gonna shoot, and you best believe Kalani was a shooter right with her. With a 17-10 lead, Kalani was pushing the ball in transition and easily blew right by Gabby Marshall. Hey, she was too little, bruh. Hey, Kalani be falling a lot. I don't know if she be flopping or her knees just be weak. No pun intended. But regardless of if she was feeling weak or not, hey, she was showing Iowa they was too weak. Man, she was doing dirty work in the post, cooking up from the 3, and dishing to open teammates. And Kayell on the other end, she was doing what she usually do. I ain't gonna lie, Kalani had to work a little harder to play defense on her. Even though she was running all over the court, hey, you gotta find that toughness. But on the other end, she was trying to show, hey, you not the only shooter on the court. And at this point, she had like 4 threes already. It wasn't even halftime yet. And just when I thought she was done shooting them, come on, man. Hey, y'all gotta step up. That girl was acting up. She was hitting celebrations and all that. But when I seen that, I ain't gonna lie, that's when I knew, hey, Iowa might be in trouble tonight. Kalani was just looking to take over the whole game. The score was 31-19 midway through the second. It was getting ugly. And Kalani had ended up hitting her like 6 or 7 3 of the game. I was like, oh my goodness, y'all cannot stop this girl. And then right after that, she went right at Caitlin Clark. I'm telling y'all, I know this girl, man. Been dating her for a little minute. Once she get that look in her eye, yeah, y'all better pray. Yeah, Caitlin Clark, I know she like that. Just look at her face. Like a Violet Myers scene, this game was looking like a blowout. Not gonna lie. But, hey, Caitlin Clark was still doing her thing. I mean, this game was only entertaining because of her and Kalani. And on the next possession, she ended up driving and getting an one bucket. I know y'all been here for a while, so you already know. It's 100% from the line, even if it's not me. If it's my girl, it's 100% from the line too, you feel me? And then on this play, she ended up getting a nice dish. Look at that bounce pass, getting a nice dish to her teammate to extend the lead off another easy layup. Yeah, it was about time to wrap this up for Iowa, but hey, Kalani wasn't done giving buckets, and neither was Caitlin Clark. I'm telling y'all, man, she was running around a bunch of screens. I didn't even know how much she had at this point, but I knew she was hooping. And like I said, Kalani would go right back at her. And if it wasn't a tray ball, hey man, she was gonna do her dirty work in the post. But y'all already know that though. And y'all know who she got that from. Don't act like y'all brand new. Y'all knew I was working on that my sophomore year. But hey, she just kept killing. Euro steps, step back threes, post work. I mean, it really wasn't much Iowa could do. And then late in the third, Kalani was done for the day. I mean, there was no point in her playing the rest of this game, even though she could have scored a lot of more points. But the game somewhat did live up to the hype as Caitlin Clark dropped 37 points. Crazy. And your girl Lonnie, she did her thing. She had 33 points. It was a nice matchup all around. Game could have been closer, but Kalani was looking to dominate. Now next up, Kalani had to go up against USC and Juju Watkins, and I'm not gonna lie, this game definitely tested Kalani, because USC all around, hey, they had arguably the best team in the game. But hey, Stanford and Kalani, they weren't backing down from nobody. And at this point, she was hot. She was playing like the best player in the world. So I mean, why not step up to the challenge and go mano-a-mano with the best team, arguably. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, USC already knew what Kalani was about. They wasn't finna give her nothing easy. She was gonna have to work for everything she got. But if y'all been here up to this point, y'all know Kanani. That's all she do. She work for everything she got. And if you don't play tough defense, hey, she gonna make you pay for it, no matter where she at on the floor. But anyway, y'all know my history with USC. Had that bad game my freshman year. Hey, but we got GBG though. So coming into this game, I was definitely hoping Lonnie gave them like 50. No, it's not a rivalry against USC, but hey, I just don't want to remember that freshman game, bruh. Part of it was my coach too. As you see Kalani getting the tough bucket, and she came to hoop, but at the same time, so did USC. A lot of their players was making some tough shots, and then Kalani started to struggle a little bit in the second quarter, threw a turnover, and then at the same time, got scored on at the other end. I ain't gonna lie though, part of this was because Kalani was playing like 38 minutes a game. She was gassed, I ain't gonna lie to you. But somehow when she got back on offense, she got all her energy back. Now I don't know if that's just because she decided to take offense more seriously and don't be focused on defense, or she was actually tired. But I don't know. She be telling me she was actually tired, but I don't believe it. As you see her getting the bucket right over Juju. And surprisingly, Juju was very quiet this game. And Kalani teammates was stepping up. Hey, this was one of them games where I think they was just focused on winning. So whoever was getting off was getting off. And by the time halftime was coming up, man, they was almost up dub on Kalani and them. And Kalani was trying to fight and put points on the board, keep the team in it. And I ain't gonna lie, this was the first time we had seen Stanford in this position in a long time. But everybody just looked demoralized. I don't know why, but this is when Kalani's leadership was gonna come into play. She literally would have to will her team back into this game. And she had to get her teammates going. It wasn't all about her dropping 50 points. She had to get her teammates going with some assists as well. And that's exactly what she tried to do. When the shot was open, best believe she'd take it. But if she saw the open teammate, she was definitely gonna dish that thing. And midway through the third, she hit a tough three over two defenders. And they was trying to cut this lead. And it's looking like they was actually gonna pull it off. But I ain't gonna lie, USC, they was hitting some tough shots too. Some of them definitely looked lucky, but hey, when they go in, you just gotta accept it and keep going. And Kalani came right back on the other end with a three of her own. I give her credit, bro, because when we played USC that first time, I was ready to leave. I was not trying to erase that big deficit. I'm glad she ain't had my mindset, and she had that chopper gonna score streak. Going crazy from the three. They was able to cut the lead to 14, but hey, it was still a whole lot of time left. And USC was still hitting some crazy shots. They had to call a timeout and draw some stuff up. But hey, it was looking like it just wasn't gonna be Stanford's night tonight. It seemed like every time they would start a run, it would end. And then USC was not missing nothing. They just kept on pushing and pushing. Toward the end of the third quarter, Kalani got a full court dime. That thing was crazy. She threw that mug from one end to the other. And at the beginning of the fourth, she cut the lead down some more with a tray ball. And now they was only up 11. Stanford was fighting their way back into this game, but it wasn't a whole lot of time left on the clock. And Kalani, she kept attacking. Y'all know how she do it. Finding ways to score any way possible. But at USC was like, you gotta beat us on your own. They started locking up her teammates, so she was forced to play ISO ball. And when you down in the game like that, you can't win like that, man. You gonna need your teammates. And like I said, USC just kept hitting tough shots. It's like they would not go away, man. But neither was Stanford though. They was putting up a fight. They was able to cut the lead to 9. It was looking like they was gonna be able to pull it off. As Kalani drove to the cup, what that boy Shaq be saying? Barbecue chicken alert. She got straight back in the post. Hey, she was going to work down there and ended up falling again. I told y'all she be flopping sometimes. I don't know, but hey, with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth, she got a wide open layup and they cut the lead down even more. It was getting closer and closer, but time was running out. And hey, USC, they was running in transition, found Juju wide open for the layup to extend the lead right back to 11. And as time went on, Kalani knew, hey, we had to put points on the board. Drove, got a nice little dish to Cameron Brink to cut the lead back down again. I'm telling y'all, this was like back and forth in the fourth quarter. But at USC, they just kept hitting everything. It didn't matter what Kalani and Stanford did. And unfortunately, they wouldn't be able to get the dub. But this won't be the last time they see each other. So at this point in time, it was time for March Madness. And Kalani and Stanford, they was chasing that national championship. And I believe they was going to do it. And just like that, it was time for March Madness. Now Kalani and Stanford, they was the number 3 seed. So they had high expectations, but nobody believed they was going to win the whole thing. So coming into March Madness, hey, they wanted to show all the doubters that they should have been the number 1 seed and that they was going to beat the odds and win this whole thing. And starting off, Louisville had an early lead, but like I said earlier, barbecue chicken alert. When Kalani get down in the post, it's like me when she do her yoga positions. I do not stand a chance. I am not gonna lie to y'all. But Kalani ended up getting the steal on the next possession and pulled right up for the mid-range jump shot. And the early lead that Louisville had, hey, it was gone. They tied this thing back up. And I ain't gonna lie, they was looking to run away with it as Kalani got the nice assist to her teammate. 10-10, quarter winding down, Kalani get a tough Euro lay right over the defenders. Hey, she was warming up. Pretty soon it's gonna be hot in here. No Nelly. I'm not gonna lie though, Louisville definitely came to play. I mean, y'all gotta remember, it's March Madness. It's when to go home. So everybody, they finna put everything on the line. They ain't care about how good Kalani was hooping. They ain't care about no ranks or nothing. They was trying to come in here and beat the brakes off them girls. I ain't gonna lie. They was hitting a lot of shots too. They got Jada Curry, and she tough. And they ended up getting this game back close after Kalani and them had built a slight lead. And next thing you know, it was 37-37 in the third quarter. But hey, Kalani was looking to go crazy. She had a patented step back mid-range jump shot right over 2 defenders. I was watching at home like, man, this girl is crazy. She pulling over 2 defenders like she a vet. Well, technically she is a vet. But when I say vet, I mean me. Y'all know that's something I would do. Come on now. But hey, we're not talking about me right now. We're talking about Kalani and how she was dominating this game. Got the easy steal on Jada Curry, and the lane was wide open. I'm watching the live stream on my phone. I'm thinking she finna dunk it. And then she rolls up, womp womp, hit a layup. I mean, come on now. She be working out with me all the time. How does she not have bounce? But anyway, as the third quarter was winding down, she kept hooping. Hit another Euro lay and she was getting hyped. And then Stanford had ended up building up another small lead. As she got the steal, and she was playing on both ends of the floor tonight. She was going crazy. Had Jada Curry on her. Excuse me, you are too little. Hey, that lead, it was getting bigger and bigger. As she grabbed the board, pushing it in transition, and she was looking to go straight to her teammate and got the easy assist. And at this point in the game, hey, she was getting assist after assist after assist. I ain't gonna lie, she was basically doing it all. I mean, she was getting steals, rebounds, assists, and putting points on the board. And when Kalani playing like this, I ain't gonna lie, it's really not much other teams can do. Sometimes she be beating herself by shooting too much or passing too much, but when she fully locked in like she is now, the other team in trouble. And as y'all see, this game was a breeze, and Kalani had a 30-point triple-double. Like I said before, that would not be the first time Kalani went up against Juju Watkins and USC. Only this time, it was in the Final Four. And Kalani started off right away going straight to the cup, getting the bucket. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Boom! She was definitely locked in from the get-go. And I ain't gonna fake it. Don't y'all think it's kind of crazy how I had my first game against USC and we lost? And then I came back and got some GBG And Kalani played her first game against USC and lost. So now, let's see if she can do the same thing I did and get that GBG. And I ain't gonna lie, she was bombing at the start of this game, so it was looking like it was finna be one of those nights. But it's USC, man. But as you can see, Kalani's still going crazy from the 3, it don't matter. Now remember how I told y'all Stanford was the 3 seed? Yeah, USC was the 1 seed. But Kalani ain't care about none of that. I was talking to her before the game, and she wasn't focused on nothing but completing this upset and making it to the national championship to get Stanford another one. And hey, she wanted her name in the record books as one of the people who helped bring a championship to Stanford. And she was doing it all, man. Like I said, she be getting the steals, the rebounds, and putting points on the board. And don't get me wrong, Kalani is very petty. I remember this one time, we was supposed to be working out for like an hour, but it was more like 10 minutes. So she was definitely mad at me for a little bit. And I definitely went without getting some play for like a week, but that's besides the point. Hey, what kind of Pop-Tarts y'all like? Had the defender jumping and then drove for the easy lay. She was hooping this game, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. But as the game went on, it seemed like USC would just not go away. And she called for the screen, bumped the defender right off, and drove straight to the cup. Hit the 1-2 Euro step, and got the reverse lay right over a defender. And once again, she fell. I'm telling y'all, her knees be weak. What you think her pregame routine is? I ain't talking about like an hour or 30 minutes before the game. I mean the night before. Y'all know what's going on. Midway through the 4th, hey, it was looking like a reverse of what happened the first game. Stanford had a big lead over USC, and they was just looking dominant. And all it was the will of Kalani and the will of her teammates as well. And in 5 minutes, hey, it's a chance they could be right back in the national championship. And Kalani was doing everything to make sure that happened. She was crashing the boards, hustling. Next thing you know, it was 80-68 with 4 minutes left to go. Boom, she called for the screen, used it, and hit a crazy fading 3. Y'all remember that one I hit against UCLA? It was just like that. I'm telling y'all, she my twin. But she got the board, pushing it in transition, ended up going straight to the cup. But quickly dished it to the corner for a corner 3. But hey, it ain't stopped there. She killed this defender and then pulled up. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, that might be the nail in the coffin. 89-70. It was just a few minutes away before Kalani would be right back in the national championship. She did everything in this game. She was not going out like that. And it's looking like that GBG was gonna be Kalani's. And Juju, she started heating up at the end, but by that time, it was too late. They tried the full court press, and Lonnie just went straight to the cup. And the worst part is, it did not stop there. On the very next possession, Kalani ended up calling the ISO, getting that nice little screen, and going straight to the cup again. But it didn't stop there either. On the next possession, called another ISO, got the screen from Cameron Brink, snatch back, oh my goodness. Definitely sent that defender to the gulag. And just like that, Stanford was right back in the national championship game, all due to Kalani. Stanford will go on to win a national championship. And Kalani, her name was in the history books forever. And me and her talked a lot about what she should do afterwards. Should she do a 5th year to keep getting that NIL money? Or should she take her talents to the pros? And she decided to enter her name in the draft. Now I know y'all may be thinking, what chose me to go to DC? What made you want to go to the Wizards? Hey man, like I said, it's the new love in basketball. So while I was in DC, Kalani was right there with me. With the 5th pick in the draft, Kalani ended up going to the Washington Mystics. Ain't that crazy? Me and her hooping in the same city. Hey man, make sure y'all stay tuned, cause this couple about to shake up both leagues.